Come here.
So you're back. We're back to Judy now. Hi, Judy.
Come here.
Hello. Hi, guys.
I wanted to make that point on the social page because you guys do a lot of social marketing, and your sphere is in some ways part of your social media, Facebook and so on. So I wanted to let's start there. How often do you post a listing on your Facebook page, and how often do you think you update it?
We do that weekly and rotate the listing, especially what's we're having, because like with the new construction, we always try to rotate those because we're open, Saturday and Sunday from 1 to 5. But then if we have a new listing or a listing that is not quite getting the showings, then we kind of post a little bit more. But at least once a week is set up to automatically go.
So,
Yeah.
so you have a program that sets that up and schedules that for you.
Yeah. And we've been using Canva a lot.
Okay.
So,
So Canva is a tool you can say, yep, I like that.
Yep. Yeah.
Do you always schedule out long term or do you schedule out short term?
It's more short term, weekly. We want to be fresh just in case something it sells or something else, or we may want to input something else, but it's usually weekly.
I had an argument with a BHG owner because they go in and schedule all their Facebook posting at the beginning of the month. And I said, man, how do you know what's gone on by the end of the month? Maybe you want to hold back just a touch. But I also think it depends on what you're posting. So that's good.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay. Well, let's talk about that. You have a lot of people that come through your open houses. Do you push your business Facebook page? Or do you try to get them to go there while they're in the house?
No, you know what? That's a good idea, but I have not. Once we touch them, we got them,
Right.
But after that is usually, I do myself, but I encourage my agents too, is I do personal phone calls. I do, I still mail out a little letter that I sign or just say, hey, I enjoyed you and your kids coming through. I do a little bit more personal. I mean,
Really?
just because they really remember that, because I have people coming back from a year ago saying, hey, I'm ready to buy now. I can't do new, but will you still help me for resale? I'm like, yes, of course, So, but I try to, reach out to everybody 3 different ways every month. So.
What are those 3 ways in since you brought that up?
Yep. 3 I do. I still do postcards because I have bought a whole bunch of them. So we're going to way back. So I said, we're going to use these. And then the personal letters and then the personal phone calls. I mean, and I will notate what day I called them, if I didn't get an answer, if I left a message. And this was just something that was kind of ingrained to me I had remember Catherine, my old assistant? Yeah, she used to do that. Everything was documented when she called them. So when they did call me, I can go back and I can say, oh yeah, I did. Yeah. So how's it going? Or,
So when you keep leading me into stuff that I have up here for you, so that you're doing wonderfully.
Okay.
So I know with all the open houses particularly, but you also have your own personal sphere that you worked with on resale a lot. Are they all in one big database? Do you have a mixed database? Do you have just a big spreadsheet with everybody's name on it? How do you?
I mixed it. I just told Mary, just put everybody on one. And when I need something, we'll shoot it out. And it seems to work. It seems to work for me. So just trying to, right now with the buyer's agent is finding their niche and selling and doing things their own way too, besides giving them the tools.
Sure.
But what's is most effective with them? Because like I tell them, really think about how you're getting your people, how they're responding to you when they're coming in at open houses, or if you go to a networking or you meet someone, are you getting a return call or anything, just kind of think about how you're working your business and what is most effective.
So when you say you have one database and you mixed them, I just got to know the tool. Are you using Excel? Do you have, I don't think you guys use Zap. Do you have some other type of contact management?
We're just using Excel. We're doing Excel. Yeah.
You don't have to spend a lot of money to do it right, as long as you've got a method of every month I'm going to do blank.
Yeah.
with your team members, and I'm curious about these, especially for those growing teams, sitting out on an open house. I've had some conversations with Mary. Do you try to have those people sitting in the open house make the phone calls back, or do you try to make a personal phone call for everybody who comes through all your neighborhoods?
No, the agents that I have on they have to make those phone calls.
Okay.
And then if I feel like there's something amiss, I will turn around and make those phone calls to see if they had got touched back. Just say, hey, we just want to know, how was your visit through? Or I saw that you said that you're ready here within 6 months. So was there something that you didn't like, or is something you could custom? So yeah, you want to custom build. So, but no, they have this, their responsibility to make those phone calls, to keep that lead, to work it. But I have an overall of everything. So in
Right.
case I'm still sitting out too, just making sure, because not everybody do the same way.
And
So.
and I've had the advantage of sitting in the office when some of your agents used to come here and turn in their sheets from the weekend. Do you guys
Mhm.
collect all the sheets from all the open house and put them in your single database then?
No, not all, only viable. I mean, the only ones that we know
Ah,
that are, that, hey, keep in touch with us and stuff, or and because we check back and some of them have already went and bought somewhere else or
okay.
did something else. Yeah. And, think about that. I may keep Now that you said that, I think what I'll do is keep a
Sorry.
separate. I may keep a separate database now. That might be a good idea. Even if they bought somewhere else,
Right.
eventually they're going to want to sell, and they only remember the person that has connected with them so many times.
Exactly.
Yeah. So.
So so that goes to a next question. Can you put a number to? And some people can, some can't. So don't feel like you're on the spot. Do you know how
Mhm.
many sales come from your sphere of influence slash open house as a percentage? Or do you get just flat cold leads that come in? Or how do you feel most of your business comes from?
Currently now that I'm back at all my new home developments,
Right.
I would say 80% would be my new homes, because even if they can't buy a brand new home or build one, we get them for resale. We
Exactly.
help them do resale or list their home and then and do that way too. But a lot of mine now is all from walking through from, I do not buy leads anymore. I'm not going to pay to play. Judy's gonna just play. So.
Well, and you're not far off base, and I think that's where a lot of people are going. But let's talk about your new homes for a minute. Judy, by the way, for those who don't know, just picked up a second one of Gene Bettarelli's subdivisions. Uh, won't talk about the agent who's not there anymore, but congratulations, Judy. We're glad you picked that up. Um, I think it would be important that you keep a database of everybody. And so the next question is, after they buy a new house, do you keep marketing to them so that 5, 6, 7 years from now they're still on your database, or do you kind of stop and wait because they just bought a new house and you think they're going to be in there too long?
No, I will. Usually, I try to do at least twice a year, different holiday, like Thanksgiving and maybe Christmas, and and then plus I'm in my area, so a lot of times I will knock on their door, like, "Hey, how's it going?" Because most people are scared after they sell, like, "Oh my gosh, there's something going to be wrong, and I don't want to deal with it." But no, I usually, because I'm more hands-on in my areas. I will, on a Sunday, I will, go and say hello, knock and say, hey, I'm over here. You got anybody that, want to come by and stuff. But I tend to get to know them and stay knowing them just like they're my personal neighbors or something like that.
So you
So,
continue to farm the area even though you've
yeah,
already sold them a new house.
yep, I sure do.
Before
Hmm.
you got new homes, did you ever try farming an area? Are these techniques you've moved from one to another, or this?
Yeah, yeah, I did. Way back when, I think when I started with you, we did try doing that and doing cold calls for just, if they want to sell or list. And that was okay, but I didn't feel like that was as effective, because I feel like you really had to flood that area with like everything that, I mean, they had to see your name like, 50 times, to make that work.
Mm,
So, yeah.
okay. So I'm getting close to the end of my questions. Do you have anything that I haven't covered that you want to say before I open it up to the other people? Are there things that you do that you think, boy, everybody should be doing blank because that's what sustains me through the hard times?
Yeah.
It's easy right
Well,
now when it's fast.
yeah, it is. It is, because I hear agents say, "Oh, it's up and down." It should never be up and down. I'm steady across the board. It might be a month here that where things get moved over, but I am always steady because I do different things. Don't just look at resale. Look at new construction. And hey, come to me because I love to co-op. I love to teach you new builds. And because if you know, then there's another avenue to take your client to. And yeah.
And
So.
you feel new homes are a lot different than resale beyond just the time it takes to build one, or
Yeah, it is. It is different because from my developments, I expect you to be at the meetings. I want you
right,
involved. You need to know what your buyers are doing, what the
right,
change, everything. Not because I don't want you just drop them off and see you at closing. No, that's not how I work. I
right,
want you involved, and you need to be involved in the process. And then that way you get to learn it. And then eventually, one day, if you want to go new, at least you'll have that experience. And you say, yes, I have done new homes co-oping, but I do know the process, because that's where I know agents say, well, how can I get a builder area? I said, well, it's hard. To me, I just said, give me, what did I do? 6 months. And I said, and if I don't do well for you, fire me. I was like, we don't even have to have a contract. I said, I will sell for you like nobody's business, and just give me that chance. And basically I got thrown out there. Even the paperwork, everything I had to learn on my own, and I had to
yep.
market my area. You remember, I was like, whoa, okay, now what am I supposed to do with this? But I learned and went on. So that was everything I ever done. Even real estate, when I first started, I got just thrown out there and was not, yeah.
It's not just even what you got to learn with the development of a new home. Every
Mhm.
builder is different and unique and has their
Yes,
own way.
they are.
And
They
builders will
are.
tell you they really need a realtor to lead them through it until you
Yeah.
hit that one, like, Mr. Klossmeyer, who's done it for so long, he doesn't want to be led anywhere.
No,
So
no, they have a stack. Yeah, a
but
booklet stack where, yeah.
they're all unique. Okay, I'm ready to open up for questions. Does anybody have something they'd like to ask Judy about how she? I know, yeah, I know new homes are a little bit different, but she still has a sphere she has to work just like everybody else. So you walk into an open house, you get a contact, and you put that together. I think you ought to be marketing to the non-ready people too. And if you
Yeah.
don't, Brenda will take those from you and she'll market to them for you. So,
Mm-hmm.
there is.
Yeah.
Any questions for Judy?
I
Okay,
have
that's
I have one question. If you were to go to a brand new person, which you do frequently, what is the first and foremost thing you feel is important for them to do to get started?
What you mean, if they've come in through their home, or you mean they've
building.
already decided they want to build?
No,
Which
a new agent. If you've
Oh,
got
a new agent?
on board, and what would you recommend to be the very first and foremost thing they need to focus on to get started?
Well, usually we do sales training right out on site, because what I want to see is, and we usually like do the role playing, because what I want to see is, how do you approach that person? What are you doing? Because there are certain things, like, because I had well, some things were really good. I had somebody from Florida. They did high luxury homes and things, how you should, start off when someone comes in. But a lot of times is, if they're really brand new, then we're going to go over paperwork first, learning the paperwork. And they get examples of all the different ways to write a contract, plus the builder's contract. But if they already have that, if they maybe been in a year or two and they already know how to do paperwork, we still review. But the first thing would be sales training, because people just think, oh, you're just standing in the house and you're saying hello. Well, no, what you're trying to do is get their life history out of them without them feeling like they're giving it to you. And then you're also trying to give them information while they're walking around, about the home or the incentives we have out here. And then also knowing when to talk to them, when to back off from them, let them look around, then come back to them. Those are, I think, techniques that makes a really good, agent anyways, is knowing when to speak, when to give information, when to back off and let them kind of whom and haw, and then coming back to it. So a lot of it is actually role playing. I do that a lot. And then I also tell them when they start off, they may get a guest or two. They don't know who's coming through. So that they're going to be, they need to be on their toes, because sometimes our builders send somebody through and to check out what our houses look like, how are we greeting people, because you should always be standing up. You should not be sitting down. Yeah. So
part of the advantage of new homes, like you're saying, is you can spend a lot of time with the trainee and teach them that
yeah,
while you're doing the open house.
yeah,
And that's a great thing to do, because builders have high expectations.
they sure do.
It's a little tougher with mentors and open house. We can do up to a point what you can do, but it's at some point you got to let them go, and it's harder to test them when you're mentoring somebody that isn't responsible to you for that open house. So I get that. Let's see, Kim K. I want to know if, in your opinion, anyone can learn to be a perfect salesperson, or does it take an instinct in that person? And actually, everybody can weigh in on that if they'd like.
There's not a perfect salesperson. We all stumble and make mistakes and stuff. I just say, if you're genuine, be yourself, and do things your way, because you read books, you're going through webinars and stuff, but at the end of the day, it's you. Adjust it to you. That's what I learned, because when I was trying, like I was at somewhere else, they got a book and their scripts and they're all this, and then you end up sounding like a robot, and
right.
That's not what you want to be. If you're genuine, those people will know. And, and like, there's some people where I'm just so abrupt and I may be more honest than I need to be, but I'm just like, you either take me or you don't take me. But I will never blow smoke up your butt. You're going to, yeah.
When I had 4 or 5 subdivisions at one time, and I found that having 2 different personalities working that subdivision could be really great, where if somebody didn't connect with one person, they might connect with the next. And we had 6 builders in that, so it was real hard keeping a lot of people happy. I get that. Back to what you said about genuine in the very beginning of the call, was you said you write personal letters and personal calls to people on that list. That's part of being genuine. You can't buy a pre-printed postcard or a pre-printed letter or pre-printed anything and be personal and make that connection that you need to with a sphere. And now Brenda has a question. So go, Brenda.
Oh, I was talking about you. I said we.
So here's a question for Judy. It's kind of the marketing, but kind of the team thing. When your people join and you let them know what they're doing, do you have expectations for them? This is what and is it written? Is it something that they get as part of their onboarding package? I expect you must attend meetings, you must prospect on your own, you must return phone calls, you must do X amount of open houses, you must, whatever, must. And in those expectations, you need to close X amount of deals a month, or, write X amount of contracts. And if they do that, because they're obviously contacting, they're prospecting, they're looking, do you also have any type of reward system for them? Being, if you do 2, 4, 6, whatever deals in a month, do you get something?
Yeah. Well, I mean, yours is a little bit more elaborate, which I think that's probably a good idea, because I think I've been a little bit more relaxed on, my buyers agents and stuff. But when they're doing well, when they're doing the things that they're supposed to be doing, we have 2 times a year, we do a fall spring shopping for business clothes, for business casual wear or whatever. And then we do a fall one too. They get 2 shopping trips per year. And those are kind of or we do a trip with it too. So, I those things I do, or if we have an exceptional, or they've done something exceptional, then I may do like a bonus thing to them for whatever thing I saw that was really positive and they got over the hurdle and stuff like that. But I don't really, and which is maybe a really good idea, because like I said, I'm still evolving and trying to make my team the way I want it to be, because I've been on, 3 other teams, so I know what I don't want. So I know what I don't want. And because the thing is, and I don't want it to feel corporate either, because if you remember that one big monster, Select Homes or whatever, it was corporate. They were mandated to come in certain times. They were mandated to do something on a weekend. They were mandated to do all this stuff. And technically we're all independent contractors. So there's a fine line there of what you can say. You know, I encourage them to be at all our weekly team meetings or be on conference, and then whoever's not there will get an update through email, what was discussed, what, you know, whatever. But we try to make sure everyone's on board every week for those team meetings. And then if there's issues or something, I'll call a special team meeting, and then and I will pounce on them, you know, a training session on a Saturday morning or something like that. And then, because I have hostesses too that go through the same training, sales training, as far as greeting, but they can only regurgitate what's on the paper. But I got one that she's a doctor now. I had her in college, and she still works for me on weekends. She is my best. I will sit her with a new hostess and be okay, because she will have literally their whole life information on the back of that sign-in sheet. And then she'll tell me if they're ready. She said, Judy, they're going to call for, you know, appointment either to buy a home, list a home, or do a new construction. I mean, she's good like that. I was like, I would love to have her as a licensed agent. So, but yeah, but no, I'm not as deep, elaborate like that. Not like that. My expectations, we have sales goals per month through new homes and resale, you know, so, and if you're doing what you're supposed to be doing, you're going to get something.
Erica had asked if she can sit with that gal sometime and see how she gets it from him.
Okay, that's
Chris,
fine.
you wanted to keep going, Chris and Brenda?
Oh, I was just saying that the only thing I was going to say is, you know, as we've been learning and growing and doing our thing too, the expectations, the training, all the stuff you talked about, we're finding to be very, very important, and letting people know, not so much expectations as in you must do this because otherwise you're a bad person or a bad agent. It's
Yeah.
expectations and knowing, you know, if everybody knows what's expected of them, then we kind of move together as a team. We kind of go forward as a team, and then every once in a while you get those, you know, non-team players, and it's easier to weed them out that way.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's hard. You never know, because, not saying names or stuff, I had an agent that came and I thought she was going to be great because she had new home sales, you know, before, but, and, you know, signing her on, even gave her, you know, a listing that was going to close to help her out and everything. And then I go out here and I go check, she's still using her individual card. Everything is all in her name. And I was like, you're on the Judy Bias Real Estate Group. I gave you a development. I also just gave you free money. And then yet you're still trying to just promote yourself. And I said, So it's hard. And I just said, this is just not going to work. I said, if you want to be a solo agent, fine. Go be a solo agent, but you're not going to sit here and take my leads or take anything that I'm giving you, and then you're still saying you're not part of a team. I said, so I don't know if you're embarrassed to be on my team or what, but yeah, I was a little dumbfounded on that. And then still finding out this person's still trying to shop, to get on a new development somewhere. I'm like, whatever, you could have had one. So yeah. So, because now I'm doing 90 days. You know, because sometimes you feel bad and you're like, oh, maybe I should give that person a little bit more time. But you know what? You signed on. We agreed upon 90 days for you to do this, and this. And if it's not happening, I just think, you know, yeah, I just got to get better at that. It's like, hey, 90 days is done. It's not working because it should be. You know, it should be. And I think that's part of my weakness is like, I feel so bad. I don't want to be the mean person, but now just figure, and all the stuff that I have to do, I can't be the nice person and keep you on if you're not going to do what I need for you to do, especially when you know the expectations up front. Yeah.
Do you have scheduled reviews for each one of your team members?
I hadn't lately because we were just going to start humping when COVID-19 just shut us down. We were like, oh my God, you know, and then I had things set up, but now, yeah, we're going to actually, the two that are really selling now, yeah, I'm going to have that review with them, and we're making some changes, you know, just, cause just, I mean, the business alone changes all the time. So we're going to make some changes in my expectations of them. I'm going to put it on paper again, have everybody sign. Cause, you know, like cause it's been a while since they had signed on and signed their contract and everything. I think we need to refresh and really think about the expectations and what moving forward, because now moving forward, it's going hump, and I need for them to be able to handle that. Because besides, you know, because my expectations for like my new bills, they should be bringing in five every month, because I can do it, you know. So I'm talking about customs. I'm talking about, because right now we get anywhere from 5 to 10 groups of people coming through, which is unreal, because before it was just like dead. But now it's because there's hardly no houses. Everybody's considering, let me buy a new home, or let me build a new home.
So my only butt in here is that we've kind of shifted to the team thing. I'm not
Oh,
opposed to
sorry.
that.
Yeah,
No,
sorry.
we can keep talking on that as long as you want. I think I'll probably, unless you've got any comments on the marketing to your sphere, I'm going to stop the recording, but we can keep having the discussion as long as you want to go.
Yeah.
So do you have any last words for staying
Everyone?
in contact?
Well, I say, you know what, be genuine, be yourself, but rise to the occasion, because I hear, I mean, oh, I'm working at home, my laptop. Well, unless you're very disciplined, but unless you're going to meet somebody, you're not going to meet anybody on your laptop. Okay. And sitting at home in your pajamas. I say, get dressed, look great, and come to the office, even if for a couple of hours. And that's what I did. And what really took off is I decided I'm going to be in the office every day, regardless what's going on, or regardless I don't have anything, but it makes me more productive. And I remember, Brenda, you used to say something like that, didn't you? Or be in the office by 8, or be in office, I don't know. I remember you saying something, yes, be in the office every morning. And that stuck with me too, because I was just like, you know what? Yeah, I'm more productive if I come in, dress up. And then usually at that point, then someone calls me to go show a house, go do something. I'm ready to go. I'm ready to go.
Yeah, that has been the hard part for us, because we are office dwellers. We are the ones that we like to be there right away, 8:30 in the morning, you know, prospecting time in the morning, family time, whatever it is we happen to do. It gets the morning off to a good start.
Yeah.
Our world kind of got really messed up. Now I have to say, you know, 8 o'clock in the morning, we're working at home too, and setting up. I mean, we still kept the same schedule. But you're absolutely right. There is something different about the office, and it's, you know, trying to balance what's going on in the world and our beliefs, what's going on in the world and whatnot. It's that part is really difficult. But you're right. Brenda and I have always said, get up, go to work. You know, when you walk in the office, do whatever it takes to get you motivated, but you can't just sit around and read a magazine and pretend you're busy.
Yeah.
You know, you do something else.
I'm going to add one thing, and then I'm going to stop the recording, and that is, not only do you have to be in the office and you have to be genuine, you have to be consistent. You can't send one letter out and expect that you're going to get, and you can't try it for 3 months. You said every month I send something out, I record, I do something. So it's that consistency that also helps build. That consistency does not mean that you have to bug somebody every week. If you got someone hot for a new build, you're going to call them a lot more often than you're going to call somebody who says in a year. So I'd make that point. I'm going to stop the recording.